The first time I saw the owl was the day we buried my grandfather. It was surprising for two reasons. First, because I'd never actually seen an owl before, and I knew how rare they were. And second, because my grandfather had been an avid collector of the animal his whole entire life. Paperweights, key hooks, teabag holders, all in the shape of owls, adorned every surface of his small home in Chipping Sawbury. As he grew older, the house became overrun with his owls, yet every birthday and Christmas, he would still receive more. I don't know whether he welcomed them at that point, or whether or not he just resigned to the fact that it was all he'd be ever given. The real-life owl landed right outside my bedroom window. Even though it was in the middle of the night, I was awake, thinking about everything that had happened to me that day, my cheeks smeared with old tears. I heard the owl before I saw it. I got out of bed, pulled back the curtains, and there it was, on a branch of the old silicone tree. Dad's been going on at our neighbors to cut the tree down for years, because it stretches across our yard and blocks out the sunlight. But on that night, I was glad it was there. The owl was the most beautiful bird I had ever seen. Small and squat, perhaps just a baby, with brown feathers that looked like they'd been dusted in the snow. It sat there staring at me, with its gold-flecked eyes, content to let me watch it through the window. Then a car drove past, its headlights blazing, which spooked the owl away. I really wasn't expecting to see the bird ever again, but it came back the next night, and the one after that. It would announce its arrival by hooting its calming song, and then would just stare at me, mimicking my movements as I tilted my head from side to side. I left the dog food on the windowsill for a week straight, waking up each morning to check if any had been eaten, but the owl just never returned. Life moved on. I went back to school and spent my weekends playing hockey and studying for my end-of-year exams. Over time, I forgot about the owl completely, until one night last winter. I was walking home after a hockey match. We had played against Yale High, who had been our rivals for years, and beat them 3-2, so I was bounding along, high on life. It wasn't late, but at that time of year, the sky turns black early, and it was already dark and freezing cold. There's a road not too far from my house that the locals call the Devil's Bend, because cars always whiz around it at 100 miles an hour, and it's a blind corner, so they can't see what's coming. Mom always goes on about how careful I need to be when crossing that road, and usually I am. But that night, my mind was elsewhere, thinking about the winning goal we'd scored right in the final minutes of the game. I was just about to step into traffic when I heard a very familiar sound. I turned, looked up, and there it was, halfway up a birch tree with that steely look on its face. No sooner had I spotted the owl than a car zoomed past the corner, almost knocking me off my feet. My heart was racing, and a wave of dizziness washed over me. I had been about to cross that road if the bird hadn't stopped me. I looked back. The owl was still on its branch, watching me with its gold-flecked eyes. "Thank you," I said in no more than a whisper. It ruffled its feathers, it cooed once more, and then it flew off into the night.